Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the fundamental principles of management, or we often call it the Fayol's 14 principles of management, which are very important. And so we are going to discuss about it thoroughly, that what all this principle says and what conclusion we have drawn and how it helps us in our daily life and how it helps in the management process. So Fayol has given 14 principles of management. So first we will have a brief discussion about Mr. Henry Fayol. He was a famous industrialist in France, and he has described 14 principles of management in his book named General and Industrial Management, and where he has explained about different 14 principles and elements, and he had also made us clear that how the principles of management are fundamentally true and what is their relationship between cause and effect. And while presenting these principles of management, Mr. Henry Fayol has kept two things in mind. First, that the principles of management should not be long, it should only be suggestive, it should not be too elaborated, but it should be suggestive in nature and it should be applicable in most of the situation. So keeping situation in mind, he has described about all this principle, and he has also suggested that the principles of management should be flexible in nature. It should not be rigid, that you cannot change it, but it should be flexible, it should be dynamic. As per the changes taking place in the business, we can change the principle as well. So two things we have to keep in mind while learning the principle of Fayol. One, that it should be suggestive, it should not be too long, and secondly, it should be flexible, not rigid. So let us discuss about the very first principle of Mr. Henry Fayol given by him, that is principle of division of work. As you see, the name itself suggests division of work. It means the work has to be divided into small parts. You can see the picture also, which is showing us an image showing us that each work has divided into different parts, and each individual has been given a different the work has been divided and he has been allotted that particular work only. Because if we are going to assign one work or more work to one individual, it can bring chaos. And if we want, as far as the this principle of division of work, whole work should be divided into small part, and each individual should be given only that part of work, not more than that. If we want to know about his ability, his taste, we should uh, know only this division of work. Now, what is the main objective of this principle of division of work? The main objective behind dividing the work is the specialization. When the work is being given to the specialist, the work is being done more effectively and more efficiently. So the positive effect which we obtain from principle of division of work is specialization, because specialization increase the quality of the work, it increases the speed of the production, and of course it decreases the wastage of resources. Now, the next principle is authority and responsibility. Now, Henry Fayol suggested that both authority and responsibility should go hand in hand. It means, first of all, we have to understand the meaning of authority and responsibility. The meaning of authority is giving power. Giving power to someone is saying that we have given authority, and responsibility means obligation to do the work, to do a job, that we are responsible. Henry Fayol says that in an organization, authority and responsibility should go hand in hand. Because if we are giving authority to someone and we are not giving responsibility, that is of no use. Similarly, if I am giving you responsibility but no power I have given to you, that is in vain. So he says that responsibility and authority should go hand in hand. It should go together, then only it is useful. Now, what is the positive effect? Suppose I'll give you an example, that in your class, suppose I have made a class monitor to someone and I have given her the responsibility, but I have not given any authority to that particular candidate. So that responsibility is of no use. So along with responsibility, authority is must. Same as vice versa, along with authority, responsibility is also must. Now, what is the positive effect? When we give authority and responsibility together, it helps in achieving the target. It increases the confidence of the employee, and Sometimes there is a violating effect also. Sometimes people misuse their authority and they make the wrong use of that. So of course, along with authority and responsibility, we can say accountability should also be there. So this is the principle of authority and responsibility. That is the second principle of Henry Fayol. Third principle is the principle of discipline. Discipline, discipline is the organization rules and regulation which the employee has to obey. In every organization, there are certain rules and regulations which should be obeyed by both the superiors and subordinates, which is very much necessary for the successful working of the organization. Generally, a disciplined organization is observed that it has a better reputation among the people. So we have to be disciplined even in the organization, even in our workplace, and discipline also increases the efficiency of the employee. With discipline, there is a proper management, labor management relation. So if the discipline is not there in the organization, it can lead to height of disorder. There can be a atmosphere of suspicion in the organization, a doubt in the organization. There can be a decline in the confidence of the employees. So we must follow discipline in our organization. Next principle is principle of unity of command. Very, very, very important principle. Often the question are being asked from this particular topic, that is principle of unity of command, in class 12th especially. So we should know what is the meaning of principle of unity of command. Principle of unity of command, as you can see the picture, there is one head and it says that an employee should receive order from one superior only at a time. Because if an employee receives order more than one superior at a time, there can be a feeling of, there can be chaos in the organization, there can be a confusion in the organization. So unity of command says one person should receive order from one boss only, and that he should be accountable to that boss only. So one superior at a time and should be there in unity of command, and that person should be answerable to only one superior. Principle of unity of command, we can also say that if there is a positive effect. What is the positive effect of principle of unity of command? That there is no confusion in the organization between subordinates and superiors. The efficiency of subordinates increases. It is easy when the unity of command is there. It becomes very easy for the organization to fix their responsibility, and there is a healthy environment in the organization. Next is your unity of direction. Unity of direction says that one head should be there and what one plan should be there. So unity of direction means that there should be one head and one plan for a group of activities, and they should have the same objective. It should not be like that there is different plans and different heads. Everyone should move in one direction. For example, suppose if there is an automobile company is manufacturing two products, scooters and cars, and they have two division. So as each product has its own market and problems, therefore each division must have its own head, because one is for scooter and one is for car. So every in this organization, one main head should be there, and they should work with one plan in one direction. With this, again, there can be a specialization, there can be efficiency, increased efficiency. It is easy to achieve objectives with the unity of direction, because everyone coordinate and work towards the one objective, towards one plan. Next is subordination of individual to general interest. Very important. Subordination of individual interest to general interest principle says that organizational interest should take priority over individual interest. When it comes between organization and individual interest, the organizational interest should be given priority over the individual interest, because organization comes first. So if anything comes in an organization where you have to sacrifice, individual interest should be sacrificed rather than the organizational interest. So organizational interest comes on the priority. For example, suppose there is a manager of the company and he has to purchase 100 tons of raw material, and his son happens to be the supplier along with other supplier in the market. The manager must purchase the raw material from the firm of his son at higher rate than the market rate. This will profit the manager personally, but the company will incur heavy loss. This situation is undesirable. It means that suppose a manager is there and a manager is getting the raw material at a lower price other than his son. His son is a supplier, but for his own profit he is buying the raw material from his son. This is the violation of principle of subordination of individual to general interest, because the organizational objective should be kept on the priority, not our individual interest, not our individual profit. So that is the subordination of individual to general interest. Next is remuneration to employee. This particular principle says that there should be a fair remuneration given to the employees. The employees should be paid fairly. At least they should be given a reasonable standard of living. Why? Because if the employee in the organization is not monetarily satisfied, he will not give his 100%. So to keep the employee satisfied, first and the foremost principle which is being said, it is a remuneration. At least just and fair remuneration should be given to the employees, so that he should be satisfied. Work satisfaction should be there, a spirit of dedication should be there, and there should not be decline in the turnover rate. So remuneration to employees says that employers should be paid just and fair. Next is principle of centralization and decentralization. Principle of centralization and decentralization says, first we have to understand the meaning of these two terms. What is the meaning of centralization? Centralization means giving power, having power in one hand, okay, and decentralization means the power is being dispersed in the number of hand. So Henry Fayol says that the superior should adopt effective centralization instead of complete centralization and complete decentralization. It means there should be a proper balance between centralization and decentralization. Neither it should be complete centralization or complete decentralization, but it should be balanced. It means where it is required centralization, there will be fair centralization. Where it is needed fair decentralization, there should be fair decentralization. A power should be dispersed fairly. And example, suppose the decision in respect of determining the objective and policies, expansion of business should remain in the hand of the superiors. On the other hand, authority regarding the raw material, giving leave to employees should be delegated to subordinates. Like if you see, if you take an example of any institution, educational institution, there the power is being dispersed. Some power is in the hand of the teacher, some power is only in the hand of the authorities like principals and vice principal. So there is a fair centralization and decentralization in the organization. Same Henry Fayol also suggested, and he says that if there is a effective centralization and decentralization, there will be a decrease in the workload of superiors, there will be better and quick decision in the organization, the subordinates should be they will be encouraged. So there should be proper centralization and decentralization. Next is principle of scalar chain. Scalar chain is again one of the important principle, which says that in an organization a proper formal line of authority and communication should be there, and which should always move from highest to the lowest rank. Here all the plans, policies, everything should come from highest level to lowest level. So there should be a proper line of authority, and Fayol says that this chain must be followed in a strict manner. It means that the communication must move from top to bottom and vice versa in a straight line. Now there is an important condition if here is that no step should be overlooked during the communication. Here when we talk about the formal line of authority and communication, so as per the Fayol principles of management, which says that it should flow in a proper line. So if suppose D has to communicate with A, for example, so D will communicate to C, then C will communicate to B, then B will communicate to A, then again it will go from highest to lowest. A will communicate to E, E will communicate to F, and then F will come to G. So it's a proper line of authority. Now Mr. Henry Fayol has given one exception to scalar chain that we call as gangplank, which you can see is written in the screen. Gangplank is an exception of scalar chain, which says in case of emergency, in case of any emergency situation, if suppose any problem is there, any grievances is there, instead of following such a long line of authority, D can directly communicate to G instead of following this long, because if we are going to follow this long chain, it will take a long time. First D has to communicate to C, then it will follow a long line from D to C to B to A to E to F to G, then finally this will come to G. So instead of to solve this particular problem, Henry Fayol has also given an exception that is known as gangplank, that instead of following this long chain, D can directly communicate to G. That communication is known as gangplank in terms of Henry Fayol, which is an exception to scalar chain and which can only be followed in case of emergency situations. Next is your principle of order. Order here does not mean giving command or instruction, but here order means keeping right thing, giving job to right person, right job and right thing at the right place. So order here means that everything in an organization should be kept at right place, every person should be assigned right job, everyone should get right thing and everything should be placed at right place. So according to Henry Fayol, every enterprise should have two different order. One is material order, that is known as physical resource, and other is the social order, which we called human resource. So keeping the physical resource order means that a proper place for everything and everything in its right place. Similarly, keeping the human resource in order means a place for everyone and everyone in his appointed place. So there is two things. One, that everything should have a right place and every person should get a right job. That is a principle of order. Next is principle of equity. As the name suggested, it is talking about the equality between subordinates. All the subordinates should be treated fairly in the organization, because if you are going to treat fairly to all the people in an organization, they will be having a feeling of dedication for their work. So it's required that each and every one in the organization should be given equal values, should be equality should be there. There should not be any discrimination based on caste, gender, religion, color. Henry Fayol strictly suggests that there should be equality in the organization. Suppose any job is just not being given to a woman, feeling that she is a woman, she is not able to do that, it is a violation of principle of equity. Both men and women in an organization should be treated equally. So this principle suggested the equality in the organization. Next is stability of tenure. Stability of tenure means a principle should, this principle says that whoever the employee is working in the organization, they should have the feeling of secured job. They should have the feeling of stability of their tenure, because if they are not having this particular feeling that their job is going to be secured for a longer period of time, they will be dissatisfied and they will not be able to give their 100%. So stability in job is very, very important, because if the employee have the feeling of safety and security in the organization, then only he continues to work efficiently. So with this stability of tenure, he can have confidence in himself, he can build the reputation of the company. So in an organization, stability is must. Stability and security of job is must. Next is principle of initiative. According to this principle, employees should be given an opportunity to initiate. It means they should be given a chance to prove themselves. They should be given a chance to show their talent, to show their skills to the management. So if they will be given this, if this principle is there, they can equally participate in the organization, they can contribute, they can help in the thinking, in the betterment for the organization, they can cooperate in the organization for the betterment of the organization. So there should be a feeling of initiative. Last principle is esprit de corps. Again, very important principle, that there should be a feeling of team spirit among the employees. This particular principle says that in an organization, there should not be a feeling of I, but there should be a feeling of we. I should be removed with we. There should be a feeling of togetherness in the organization. whole organization should consider themselves as a family and should work towards the achievement of the organizational goals. So this particular principle is very, very important because it is promoting the team spirit, the feeling of cooperation in the organization. Now, what is the positive effect of this? If we are working with the team spirit, there is a motivation to work more. It is easy to achieve objective with the help of the group of people, help of the with the help of the employees in the organization. There is always a sweet relationship in the organization which helps for the firm to grow further. And if there is not team spirit is not there in the organization, there can be a difficulty in achieving the objective. So few principles as per class 12th are very important, that is esprit de corps, unity of command, scalar chain. These 3-4 principles are very, very important out of the 14 principle which is often being asked in class 12. So please go through with this video thoroughly and please comment in the comment section, like, subscribe and share the channel. And finally we come on a conclusion that since the management is related to human being, nothing can be said with a sense of finality. Yes, everything is uncertain, and as per the Henry Fayol, the principles of management should be flexible, it should not be rigid. And of course, what principles are to be applied at what time and in what situation and to what extent, it depends upon the experience, efficiency and decision making power of the manager. Thank you very much.